everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hi, guys. Good evening. Yeah. No shit. Straight to voicemail. Actually, let me check my email. I haven't checked my email since I put that up there. I know I never got a notification. No. I do not have anything from them, and they have not returned my phone call. And as you saw, it went straight to voicemail. So I don't know. Nothing from them. Isn't that so interesting? Hey there, Lady Di. Hey there, Danny. Hey, Mimi. How you doing? Hi, Polyfinders. Hey, Leah. Hey, Mr. Naysayer. I know. I'm getting really tired of it. It's already been... Tomorrow will be a week since the person who's, like, able to do it was supposed to have been back in office. And I just don't understand how you can't just hurry up and get done an hour and a half worth of footage that you have failed to produce. It should not take that long. It should take an hour and a half. Like, I don't understand the problem. I really don't. Hey there, Fly High. How you doing? Hey, Cammie. I made a diss track of you calling out these fools, Jules. Did you? That's hilarious. I don't know, but it probably will. Christmas is on a Thursday. Okay, I don't know how the office has worked in the past. I don't know if anybody has any experience trying to contact the offices around Christmas time in the past, but that's a huge possibility because today is the middle Monday of December. We have 1 week and like 2 full days before Christmas. And if the office is going to be shut down for the majority of that week, then they have this week to get it to us before they can actually kind of like use the holiday as an excuse. Now, what is it that she said? They have city things they also have to attend to. So what I'm assuming is that it's probably like the end of the year tax stuff. Like they have to get everything together. In the meantime, let's follow the RAV, the connection that proves that Bethany and possibly Dylan weren't at 11:22 during the cleanup. Bethany tried to slip out of the back, Jack conscious of guilt. I don't know. I really think that they were there. That's kind of like my issue. I really think that they were there and complicit with everything. But granted, they could have been picked up. They could have been taken out of there. They could have been brought back. I feel like it's very possible. Except for the fact that there's constant phone movement and they would be able to tell by her location if she wasn't there. And I know that they have all that, like all the phone stuff. Now, could they have been picked up, left their phones there for a small amount of time and then brought back so that their phones looked like they were there and they looked like they were there? Maybe. There is like that 4:30 to like 7:30-ish that the state wants us to pretend like there was no movement going on. The defense says otherwise. But if the state is accurate and there is like at least 3 hours where there was no movement until 7:30, that's 3 hours. So maybe. I don't really believe that. I know a lot of people do. It's not on my thing, but it's possible. It is possible. It is time for firewood, isn't it? Hey there, it's Meow or Never. How you doing? Hey, you guys. How is everyone doing tonight? Yes, doing better. I don't know what's going on with his little fever thing. It's like come and gone. I need to make him like an actual doctor's appointment. I thought maybe it's like a sinus thing. And it could be because I gave him some cold medicine today. And it actually like cleared it up and he got like not so tired feelings, but he sounds like he's all up in here. It's this weather. It's this weather. Okay. So this is what I want to do tonight. And thank everybody that's in here. I appreciate y'all all being in here. Thank you for the $2, Michelle Rowe. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. This is what I want to do tonight. We're going to talk about the Scream. I'm going to lay out what I want to do and then we're going to get started. So I'm going to play the clip of us hearing it for the first time. When I took the zip files and put them all together, the 5-minute segments and put them all together, I did not listen to any of this stuff. It is insane to me that this Scream is within 2 minutes of the footage starting. The footage starts at 2:25. That Scream is at 2:27. That is absolutely insane. So what I want to do is I want to play the clip. There's going to be a trigger warning. I say the F word quite a bit because it shocks the shit out of me. So just be prepared for that if you weren't in here for that. I'm going to play that clip, and then we're going to go and listen to where the scream is mentioned. I find it really interesting that Dylan only mentions hearing a scream to Officer Nunes on the scene, and Emily is the only person that says it during her interview. Now, I didn't go listen to Bethany's interviews. What I did to see who said what and when was go back to our lives, where we read every single one of the MPD reports. I haven't gotten to ISPs yet. We might do a little bit of searching around on ISPs because I know that other people mention hearing certain things, and I'm really trying to like piece all of that together and see what the time frames are. I haven't got to those. If we have time at the end of this one, we might do that, or I might just do that on my own afterwards and just put a video out about what I find. But I want to go through the portion where she mentions it to Nunes at the scene. I'm going to not play her one from the 13th or the 30th because she doesn't mention it. You can go to any channel that has the full interview, go to the bottom in the description box and click on transcript. It'll pop up on the side, press Control F and type in scream, and you will see that nothing about a scream is said to Mowry on the 13th. She says it to Nunes. She doesn't say anything about it to Mowry. And then she doesn't say anything after Kohberger's arrest when she interviews on the 30th. Now, on the 17th, she says the word scream twice in her interview on the 17th, and I'm going to play it, but it's only about like the time that they came home and their washing machine was going, like how the girls screamed. She doesn't mention hearing Kaylee scream whatsoever. So I'm going to play you that part just so that you can see what I'm talking about with that one. And then I'm going to play you Emily's interview, just the clips. We're not listening to the full things. We're going to do the way I just said. We're going to Control F, get straight to the transcript where it mentions the word, and that's it. We're not going to waste time going anywhere else. I'm going to play where Emily mentions the scream. Now, I also want to pull up Linda Lane, and I want to pull up both Linda Lanes. I want to pull up Linda Lane from Connor's page because he has like the FOIA'd Linda Lane. Well, we might even go and grab one of the original Linda Lanes and listen to it at that time frame at 2:27 to see what we hear. But I also want to pull up the 4th Linda Lane camera on Yori True Crimes channel. I think they've had it on there the longest from what I understand. I always end up going to that channel when I want to look out down that like dumpster one and see if we can hear it there too. But that's the plan so far. Now, I did go in and I'm starting to get some clips together for Enon Harsh. We're going to have a discussion about Enon here very soon. There's just a couple of moves I want to make FOIA-wise before we talk about him. But I do know for a fact that he also mentioned hearing a scream, that he says it himself in an interview, that it's also in a post that he posted on social media, but then he edited the post because it said something about hearing a scream, and then he edited it down to say no screams. And then we're also going to talk about eventually the SUV that he claims that he saw. I'm really starting to wonder, and just listening to the interview that he did with Truth and Transparency a long time ago, where he's like describing it and he pulls up the map. Basically, on the map where he's talking about that SUV is that he saw the big Bola SUV. It's right there where that weird SUV is parked, like behind the dumpster in the 1112 camera. That's like when Lanny gets to that position on the map, he's like, yeah, right there. And I'm like, the dumpster car? So we're gonna look more into that. But there's, again, some other things about Mr. O'Harshy Boy that I want to FOIA first because I don't really trust him. He says that he was subpoenaed. He says that he spoke to the police, but we haven't ran across the damn single report. And I know that when they were talking about the Linda Lane cameras about the black SUV, he was like, yeah, I don't know how anybody sees anything on there. But then whenever Lana starts bringing up, I always say her name back either way, either Lana or Lana. I always say it either way. Anyway, she said something about how the 1112 camera should show that car. And his response was just like, oh, like he was almost like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said anything because I didn't know there was a camera that was going to be able to prove that I'm lying. I don't know. It was very odd going back and watching that. So we're going to talk about that pretty soon here, and that goes into the scream thing because he was like the first person to come out and mention hearing a damn scream. So we're definitely going to be doing a little deepy divey. You're very funny. We're going to be doing a deepy divey thingy into him really, really soon because it comes off of the scream situation. So that's going to be coming up. All right. So just warning. I am going to play where we originally heard that damn scream. I say the F word because I'm warning you, so I don't usually do that. I say the F word because it shocked me so freaking bad. And I just don't really know what to think about it. I still don't know what to think about it. And I have a lot of questions. I want to play this, and then I'm going to ask you my questions because I want to put a FOIA in for this information, and I'm just not really quite sure. Like, I pretty much get the gist about how I want to ask about it, but I don't at the same time. And I guess it's because I'm not seeing anything, like, report-wise about it, and it's bothering me. Because normally when we put a FOIA in, we're able to reference a document from MPD or from ISP or something from the public interest website. And when it comes to this, all I have is a file that they sent me. I haven't been able to find, and again, I've gone through our lives of us reading every word. If I would have said the word scream as I was reading the document, it would have pulled up in the transcript. I have to go through the Idaho State Police ones, but I haven't seen reports in any of the Moscow reports about hearing a scream. I feel like when we did go through reports where people did mention hearing things and being outside and seeing certain things, those were all in the Idaho State Police stuff. So that's just more dig that we're gonna have to dig. Oh, thank you for the $5 super sticker, Meow or Never. I like that name. Okay, just trigger warning because this scream is about to be on, and I don't understand how this kind of just like got overlooked. I don't know if it did actually get overlooked, if there's something that they did to investigate what this was or not, but I'm going to play this and then I'm going to ask my questions. That sounds like crying. Enon. Enon Harsh. That's a man. What the fuck was that? Did you not oh my God. I just got chills all over my entire fucking body. Oh, I gotta take a second. That genuinely like threw something through my entire self. Like I am like tearing up right now. What the fuck was that? Ugh. And apparently even Gray Hughes is like making fun of this and acting like we're overreacting. How do you not have a visceral reaction to that sound? How do you not have a visceral reaction to that sound? If you really pay attention, you hear like a male voice almost say something about there. I swear I hear the word fuck coming out of a male's voice right before you hear the freaking scream. I'm about to replay it. Like it replays in the live clip, and I took the portion. Listen. Because how does this not have an answer? If this is from the party that was happening at the Moy house or whatever, then how come that's on an interview where someone was like, oh, someone was just like really drunk and they screamed, or there wasn't like an argument or some shit? Or how come there's not a report that says that the people inside of 1112 were watching a horror movie and it was this movie and it just happened to be playing that part where this horrible scream came out in the movie and it caught on the camera? Where's the investigation? Because there's no freaking way the cops heard this and didn't freaking do something. How do you hear this on the freaking cameras and you do nothing? You don't investigate it. You don't ask questions. I'm sorry. How did you get the time frame that you have from anywhere other than, oh, pretty much at 4 a.m.? Because what? I'm sorry. No. No. I don't know if I can listen to that. Oh, what the fuck was that? Oh my God. What the fuck was that? Why am I? What the fuck? Okay. Y'all never seen me act like that. One more time. That was fucking horrible. I'm sorry, but what the hell? Okay. It's gonna play again. One more time. It starts at like the 13th second. like halfway through the 13th second. What the hell was that? Yeah, no. See, like, there's just no way. So my question is this, like I just said, where's the reports? Where's the reports of you hearing this MPD on this camera and going and knocking on 1112 and saying, hey, can I let you listen to this and you can tell me, were y'all watching a movie? Was there a horror film playing? Like, what is this? Where's the reports of them going knocking on doors and asking, hey, did you hear this scream, and playing this to people? To me, that's how the investigation should have gone. They should have been knocking on doors, calling people in, talking to them, and playing this for them, listening to it and letting them see the timestamp roll across and letting them hear it from the file. Why do we not hear any of that investigation happening? I want to know where the reports are for that, because there's no way in hell that you hear that and you don't do any damn thing about it. You don't do shit. I don't understand that. I just don't. Okay, so now I'm going to play you the only place where Dylan mentions the freaking scream. Apparently, well, I can't say that actually, because she says it to Emily. She mentions it to Emily because Emily mentions it in her interview. Now, I'm going to remove the transcript so that I can play the full thing here in a second, but I wanted to show you the way that it looks whenever I'm telling you how to go into the description box right here, click on Show Transcript. When it pops up, you can Control F and type in the word, and it'll tell you how many times the word is on the page itself. Now, it will take into consideration titles, comments, all the things. So you have to go up and down on the little thing. See how it goes into this? You have to go up and down on all of the little options that it gives you to get to right where in the video the word is that you're looking for, so that you don't waste your time. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the transcript now so that I can make this bigger. Why do I always click on that one? I don't know why I do that. All right, now this is the only time that Dylan is going to mention hearing a scream that night to a freaking police officer, which I don't understand. That's so freaking insane. Okay.
Pretty much they were in the main room. I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room. She ran downstairs, and I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And then I saw the guy. I locked the door and I ran downstairs.
So she screamed. Okay, I'm gonna actually have to bring the transcript back up because she says it straight to Noons. So I'll leave the transcript up so I can get right to the right spot. So let's play this one more time. Turn the volume up.
Pretty much they were in the main room. I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room. She ran downstairs.
She screamed because someone was in the room. So her initial thing that she says to everyone is that someone was in a room. Kaylee saw someone in the room, and the scream came when Kaylee saw someone in the room. Not at the top of the stairs, not halfway through the stairs, physically in the room. That was her first statement. Okay, now let me see where else she mentions this, because she says it. Okay, this is a portion a few minutes later, as you can see, timestamps and all, where she's talking straight to Noons at this point.
Heard who go upstairs?
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
And upstairs to the very top?
Yeah, that's where her room is.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, her walking up, I heard her scream, and she ran downstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs.
So, when you put all of that together, when you hear at first that Kaylee was just like, oh, someone's here, and it's at the exact same time that the DoorDasher is pulling into the freaking parking area so that people could see the headlights coming in through the windows. And it would make sense because if Kaylee was going up the freaking steps, she would see the headlights coming in the window from the window right there at the balcony on the third floor, where Kaylee's room's right here, and you go this way to go to the bathroom in Maddie's room. Those windows right there, you would see the person's headlights, and you would see them coming into the parking area. We've looked at where the steps make the turns and the windows and all the things when we were talking about who Molly actually saw in the window and what window it could be. It was either going to be that living room window that you see at the top of the steps in all of the body cam, or considering the position that she said it was on the bathroom window that shares a wall with Maddie's room. Those are the only two possibilities for the direction that she's pointing. And that's basically only if she can actually see the third floor because of the angle that her car was apparently parked in the way that she's described, the way she had to like bend up over her steering wheel to like really, really look in. Okay. So when you first hear Kaylee said, oh, someone's here, you think DoorDash. When you hear someone's here in a guttural scream, the way that Dylan is now describing it, that changes the whole dynamic, but it still is the weirdest shit because according to Dylan, this is happening at 4 o'clock as the door dashers coming in and the headlights are coming in through the windows. So it makes it so freaking convoluted, discombobulated, all the freaking things. So freaking hard to understand what actually is happening. So again, she only mentions the scream here. She never mentions it again. Literally just hours later, she goes to sit down with Mowry. And again, go to that interview and look it up yourself. She never mentions hearing a scream. It's someone's here and no scream. Why did the scream suddenly go away? How come the significance of everything that you actually heard goes away? It's because she's trying to take away the severity of what she actually encountered to make an excuse for the reason why they didn't call 911. It's the reason why she tries to use Hunter to make herself feel better for not mentioning blood by coming up with some sort of story about how he didn't see it either and told her that, you know, not to feel bad about it. And I question that too, because Hunter was in that room. And in all of his interviews, he doesn't really mention it either. So it does make you wonder why both of these people are not mentioning the fact that there was blood everywhere. We know Dylan saw Xana in the 4 o'clock hour, that her memory was so good for being so drunk. Yeah, okay. That she remembered exactly the position that Xana was in 8 hours later, enough to make that what she became concerned about. She can tell us that she was pantsless, but she can't tell us there was blood on her legs. Hunter goes in and touches her neck to check her pulse, but then fails to mention that she's covered in blood from head to toe. How? How is that normal? Your eyes just suddenly don't see red. Like it's not some sort of mass hallucination where red just suddenly disappears from like what your eyes can detect. So how is this the theme here? How is it more than one person telling us that ridiculous story? That shit doesn't make any sense. And it's never made sense. It's never made sense, literally at all. So I think is this the last time she says it in this part? Nope. Right here. I think, okay. So this is where he goes and he's repeating it, I think, to Gunderson. Let's see what he says right here.
It's okay. Well,
Okay.
we can get that eventually.
Yeah. All about the 4 a.m. timeline.
And then Ethan. E-T-H-A-N.
And Chapin, C-H-A-P-I-N.
Hey, go fast. She's saying this morning around 4. There's a guy, black mask, was in there. She didn't recognize him. She heard girls screaming upstairs. She got scared, locked herself in the room, and then the screaming all stopped. She's pretty sure.
So he's repeating the story about the scream to Gunderson, and that's it. That's the only time that it's mentioned. The transcript is now over. Now again, she does not repeat it in another one at all. On the 11/17 interview, she mentions the word scream twice. And it is literally about them coming back and the washing machine going. Remember that story where they left? I think it was on Parents' Weekend. They left, they came back, and the washing machine was on. And they freaked out.
Fine. So we walk in and our washer's going, and that was normal. Like we were all washing clothes, and it made a sound. We all screamed because we were freaked out. And we go into the spare bedroom on the right, and we just grabbed Ethan's golf clubs, and like we were kind of joking around.
See, that's the situation about them coming home. Where's the second thing right here? It's the same exact situation. Or it's same non-crime scene situation. She's mentioning the word scream about 2 other things that have nothing to do with that night.
Worked at the Greek,
Yeah.
that Greek. And
They never had anything weird. Never. And like we would always talk about stuff, and we never had anything weird. Remember one night, this was pretty recently, she heard someone scream. So she had one of our friends who lives at Identity pick her up and she did the night there. But
Okay, so that's the story that Dylan's telling actually about Bethany hearing a scream at some point and it freaking her out so much as she had her friend come and pick her up. Bethany tells that story, I believe, in one of her interviews, but nothing about screams that night. Dylan doesn't mention the screams of that night coming from Kaylee to anyone else but Noons, at least so far that we've seen. Now, she did say it to Emily because Emily mentions it when she talks to Brett Payne.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come over.
Right. She mentions the golf clubs because they grabbed the golf clubs during the washing machine event, not that night.
At 11:51, you said,
Yes.
okay. So they saw and heard a man. Did they?
They saw a man last night around 4 a.m. She saw Kaylee scream and go up the stairs, and
So this is.
mhm.
So she saw a man, and then heard Kaylee scream.
Kaylee scream and run up the stairs because she lives upstairs. Kaylee does.
And ran upstairs. Okay.
Ran into and locked themselves in it. And then, she was screaming their names, and she didn't hear anything. So a while later, she came back out to check, and I guess the man was standing right there. And then,
So Dylan told Emily that she was screaming out the names of the roommates, not calling out their names. Told Emily, according to Emily's recollection, that she was screaming out their names, but never got a response. Screaming out and calling out are two completely different inflections. Very important to know the difference there. So I don't know if we'll ever know.
ran into and locked themselves in it. And then, she was screaming their names, and she didn't hear anything. So a while later, she came back out to check, and I guess the man was standing right there staring at her.
So that tells me that that could have happened at any point in time. That scream could have happened at 2:27, and whoever was in the house was still in the house at 4 o'clock, if that's whenever Dylan actually saw somebody. Because according to her, she doesn't know what time was what, right? She has no freaking clue. We have no time what time any of this happened. Everything they're telling us about the 4 o'clock time is based off of what? A car speeding out of the way. They can't even actually validate what that is. The 4 o'clock time frame came from what? From Dylan. Then why were they telling us shit about from 3 to 4 from the very beginning? They literally shifted the timeline by an entire hour by the time Bryan Kohberger was arrested. And why is that? Because everything they were working on was sending them everywhere else. They had to reverse engineer the entire thing in order to make it fit. I don't know how they thought we weren't going to eventually just like get all this information. This is the dumbest shit.
Okay, so let me kind of just back up just a hair here, okay? So she said that she saw Kaylee run upstairs, and then Kaylee.
That too. No mention of DoorDash. Now, I'd understand if Dylan was like in her room and had no idea that a DoorDash was ordered because she had nothing to do with the order, and Xana and Ethan were just like doing their own thing or whatever. But even in like the interviews and everything, like you don't even talk about the fact that you like heard about the DoorDash or heard about the DoorDash dropping off the food, and then it like made you remember hearing Xana going and opening the door. Like they're trying to say that the freaking food that Xana got off from the front door was in the kitchen. Well, she would have had to have passed Dylan's damn freaking door to get to the kitchen. And Dylan's awake. We know Dylan's awake. She's adding contacts right before shit goes stupid, according to the state's timeline, right as Molly's in the area. So you're telling me that Xana walks right past your door and goes into the kitchen with her Jack-in-the-Box, and you're oblivious, but you're adding a contact to your phone just a few minutes before that? I don't believe you. I don't believe none of this. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that I just randomly brought that up, or you guys brought it up, and now we're talking about the whole DoorDash thing, because I'm going to now bring this up. There's still a lot of confusion I'm seeing in the comments about the DoorDash stuff. I'm just going to remind everyone who maybe doesn't realize, because we've got a lot of new people here, Xana's DoorDash was not Xana's DoorDash. Xana's DoorDash was ordered from Ethan's DoorDash account. We have a time that it was delivered, but we have no timestamp for when it was actually made. And the information that we have regarding that is that the DoorDasher was so freaking slow at her job because she double dashes and sounds like she's doing some other very operational things, things we still need to dig into, that Jack-in-the-Box thought that she wasn't coming back. So they threw the freaking order in the trash can. So by the time she finally got there and they realized that she was coming back for the order, She also had to wait for them to remake it. So there's this elongated time in between when the DoorDash order was actually made and when it got there. And because they're not giving us any of that, we don't know when it was made. It could have been made at 2:30. It could have been made at 3:30. I highly doubt that. Because if an order was made at 3:30, by 4 o'clock, you're already delivering it. That doesn't make sense. That's normal. That doesn't account for you being late, the food being thrown away, and having to be remade. That order could have been made at 2:30. We don't know. They haven't told us. But it came from Ethan's account, and that's all the information they've given us, and they have not given us a photo. They have not given us a picture. And everything about the DoorDash driver is suspicious as shit. Ugh. This case is so stupid. So stupid.
He was screaming for.
No, she's screaming.
Just screaming.
Screaming that she said that there's a man here, someone in the house.
Okay, that kind of stuff.
See if it said anywhere else. Yeah, this whole thing where she says she saw Kaylee scream is really interesting because to me that means that Dylan has her eyes on Kaylee. And remember, we heard in the very beginning that she was like opening the door and yelling like "shut the F up the stairs." And I could have sworn one of the rumors was also that she heard rummaging around upstairs. I just know that like a lot of things didn't get repeated and the story kept changing. The story has been forever changing. And now we can blame Dylan for it because now we've heard the story change out of her own face. We've heard her change what she's heard, what she saw, responsibility taken for things, adding things to it, proving more that she had more responsibility for the reason why the 911 call was not made in time. For the 8-hour delay. She had full knowledge. You're hearing things, you're seeing things, you see people on the floor, you see someone in your house. I'm sorry, but you saw the entire damn thing play out in your own words. You watched the entire thing happen and you didn't do shit. And again, guys, I want you to seriously think about it. Dylan did not call Bethany when she saw the guy in the black going out the door. Here, heard the scream. Oh my God. She did not call Bethany. She did not call Bethany. Bethany called Dylan after hearing a freaking pop and seeing a light. So if Bethany would have never called Dylan, what would Dylan's story have been the next morning? When somebody finally realized what was going on, what would Dylan's story have been if Bethany would have never called her? I guess we'll never know, but it's a damn good question because I don't trust her. I don't trust anything about her. Now we're going to look at Linda Lane here in just a second, but I also want to show you guys something about why this damn 227 scream is so freaking important. 227 is also about the time that Maddie and Bethany are outside with Murphy. And if not Bethany and Maddie, then Maddie by her damn self because Bethany left her out there according to her own story. Because it's about 30 minutes later after she comes back in from being outside with Maddie because Kaylee's most likely on the phone with Jack at this point. You know, that 17-minute phone call that everyone, including the Goncalves, has lied to the entire public about for 3 years. This is the timestamp that they're outside, that Murphy's apparently lost and they don't know where the dog is. And the scream happens. Isn't that freaking scary to think? Exactly. Isn't that scary to think this could have been an attack on one of them? And knowing that Maddie was outside with the damn dog and the dog ended up running off? How'd the dog run off? How'd the dog get lost? Why are we hearing a scream at 227 when you're outside with the dog? And we have no information on any of that. And Dylan says weird shit like, I don't know how the cops found the dog. I didn't even know where he was. They thought that he was outside the whole time because the last time she heard Murphy, he was sounding like he was moving farther and farther away. This is so freaking questionable. So freaking questionable. And the fact they are like being stupid with the timestamp before this, knowing that literally this scream is 2 minutes. 2 freaking minutes and 13 and a half seconds into the footage that we finally have. This case drives me absolutely insane. And that part, that 156 time frame is smack dab in the middle of what we're waiting for. I hate this case so much. This is so insane. So insane. But this right here is extremely important to me. Because she says Maddie calls her. Do we know if it was Maddie? Do we know if it was Maddie? We don't know. We have no idea. Because she's outside with the dog, apparently alone. Bethany's words were she was outside for all of 10 seconds because she didn't want to be out there. It was like too cold or some shit. So she turns around, she grabs some snacks, and she goes downstairs to her room, and she's watching Baby Daddy or whatever for like 30 minutes. Okay? 2:27 to 2:53 is 4 minutes shy of like 30 minutes. And Maddie calls her at this point and asks her about the dog. Now, we've heard two different things, and I'm not sure which one is true. I have to go back into the interviews and see if it was written in a report incorrectly or if it was said this way. But I know at one point we heard that Maddie went down there to Bethany's room and knocked on the door. But then we have a phone call. We've heard it both ways. So I don't know. I don't know if this is actually a phone call and she's being asked about Murphy, or if Maddie physically went down to the basement. If there's proof of that, then okay. She wasn't attacked at 2:27. But who's to say? Who's to say that that wasn't right when she was walking in to the freaking door and she was attacked as she was going into the slider? Who freaking knows? If you go back and you look at the pictures of the kitchen from ISP where all of the amido black is all over the place, if you look at the very bottom of the door frame where the slider actually like closes is dark blue, where the amido black looks like it's actually like grabbed the proteins. On the whole door frame, like the tall door frame, it stays light blue like it looks whenever it's not grabbing anything. But way down at the bottom, it grabs something. It's dark blue at the bottom. I don't know which picture it is, but we talked about it. Y'all go find it. It's there. I'll put it in the community post so you guys see what I'm talking about. It's there. So who knows? Who freaking knows anymore? The state's not telling us anything, so who freaking knows anymore? Okay. Trying to relax. I'm getting so freaking angry. This case really pisses me off. It truly freaking pisses me off. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Connor's page. And we're going to pull up the Linda Lane from that time period. I'm sure that he's got it. Oh, thank you, Connor. Ready. I'm going to give you guys this link right here. This is Linda Lane from the FOIAs from 2 to 3 in the morning. Here is this link so that you guys can go and grab that and watch it yourselves. Hi there, Taylor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Our members only live is going to be on the 29th of December. We're going to be doing giveaways, so don't forget that. Don't forget that. We do it every last Monday of the month. Every last Monday of the month. Okay. Let me get this full screen. And let me get to 227-ish. Oh, okay, right at it. Here we go. Oh, there's that car. I cannot wait to put all these together. I know so a lot of people saw the little video that I put up earlier of like the 3:12 time frame for the 4 people running in the background and the car coming in and picking up those people at 11:19. Remember whenever the car comes in, kind of like pulls into King and then like backs up until 11:19 and picks those people up? Same time, exact same time that those runners are in the Banfield cameras. That's crazy stuff. Most of these, it seems to sync up okay. Now, I will say, when I was getting the cameras together for the Hunter Johnson videos about the knife being picked up off the floor, there was like a 3 or 4 second, I don't know how the frick it ended up happening. It happened in their redactions, which tells me that they're not just muting things and putting black boxes on stuff. They're physically removing stuff because they start out perfectly in sync. And then as they get into the hallway where the mass redactions start, when the redactions finally like go away and it starts to play it, it's off. So I think it was in Noons is the one that ended up being a little bit shorter. Yeah, because it's the one where you can see Eric Warner actually like walk towards the table. So it's not Eric's, it's Noon's. Something is physically removed from his because the syncing gets out of whack after the big redactions go away. So again, they're not just muting things and black boxing. They're cutting. They have to be. They have to be. They're so manipulating it. Shut up. Yeah, that was kind of strange. Some really strange sound starts playing right at the right part, but then it like is elongated. It's very strange sounding. But see, listen to how long it goes. It's not the same. See, it keeps on going. Like, what is that? That's odd. That sound goes on for like 9 seconds. Is it like an echo? Is it an echo? Gets louder. And then goes away some. Right. That's weird. That's weird. Ew. But it was really long. It was longer. It was longer. That's odd. Okay. Weird. Let me find the other camera. I think Yori True Crime changed his name to some sort of like, I think my microphone's moving a lot too. I don't know why things are suddenly like jiggly up here. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to pull up Yuri True Crime. He did change it to Idaho 4 Archive. This was from the leak. This is the Linda Lane from the leak that Yuri posted. So let's see what it sounds like here. That's what I'm doing. So it does the same thing. It starts at the exact same time, but it looks like it's like a second ahead. Maybe. And it's elongated. I wonder if it's an echo. It is. It's like a half a second or so ahead. On the 11:12, so what does that mean? It's closer to 11:12 then, right? No. What does that mean? So 11:12, if you look at those seconds, it's halfway through 13 right before it hits 14. So it's like 13 and a half seconds. This one's like a second before that. It's a whole second ahead. It's an entire second ahead. It starts in the middle of 12. So if it's a second ahead, does that mean that it's closer to Linda Lane? It sounds louder on 11:12 though. 11:12 does have that, but it has it has a delay, but it has a selective delay. Like it goes back and forth. Sometimes it has a delay and sometimes it doesn't. We've counted it. Sometimes it's on cue and sometimes it's like 2 seconds back. I know my mic is loud. Like, goes back up. It's also old. I need to replace it probably soon here. There's going to be some after Christmas sales. I don't buy stuff unless it's on like 50% off clearance, so I'm waiting. Okay, so now I know that Yuri, I know I say Yuri a lot because that's what the channel, see it right here, it says Yuri. That's what it originally was. I know that, is it this one right here? Yeah. This is the other camera. The timestamps for this one is at the bottom, though. This is the one where there's like 30 minutes missing. So going in and comparing what we have on the other camera for the 30 minutes that they have missing, and this one's going to be interesting. All right, so there's 211. Let's see what we can hear on this one. Okay, here's 226 and 54. I don't hear the scream. I heard something a little bit after it, like at the 19-second mark, but this camera is too far away. It doesn't pick it up. It should be right here. See right there, there's like a little bit of at the end. That's it. That's it. It doesn't pick it up on that one. So Linda Lane has it 1 second ahead. And the Linda Lane 4 doesn't catch it at all. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. That's really it. I'm going to pull up the, let me see, the investigative report, the 2,000-page one, and I'm going to Control F on that real quick and see where it mentions anything. Oh, hold on. Okay, let me see if I can find anything, because I know that there were some people that did mention hearing stuff. I just want to see what we can find on the report itself. So right now, I know that some of it, like, it doesn't catch everything for some reason. So we're going to Control F and hit scream and let it run for like 3 minutes or so is usually how long it takes for everything to load, and see if it mentions anything so that we can look at those reports. But I'm gonna act like I have no choice at this point. I'm gonna have to file something. I'm gonna have to file some sort of FOIA about this. Okay, so let's let this just like, wow. See, that has to be a lie. It just basically told me no. Like when you hit Control F, and it makes a noise like, that means it didn't find anything. Okay, let me show y'all what it's doing. I'm going to have to go in here and like, I'm going to have to do the way that I was doing with the MPD ones. And I'm going to have to go in to the lives and pull up my transcripts and see where I read the word scream. Because does it let you see my Control F thing? Frick no. That's so stupid. Okay, so I have, you can see like, does it show you what I have? Okay, so I'm typing in SCR and it's showing right now that there's 77 words that start with SCR. So then we do E. It goes down to, there's only 2 words. Okay, now it's popping up some more now. But it's going to pull up everything now that has SCRE. If I do A for scream, it instantly goes down to 0, and I'm going to wait. No, it just made that noise. I'm going to have to go in and listen to my lives where we read these and pull the transcript up and see. Because it's not populating anything. Control F scream. It's not populating anything. But yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. That's what I wanted to go over. I wanted to go over the scream and figure out how I'm going to write this down. I know that I need to ask for anything that they did interview-wise, if they asked anybody about it. The only thing that I can really do is be like, hey, here's the raw footage that you sent me. Go to this timestamp at this time frame on the camera, or open your own freaking file. Open your own freaking file in your own freaking computer and go to 227 and 13 and explain to me what that is and where the reports are for your investigation into this sound. Because how do you just not? Who the frick else can I ask about this? Would Chief Fry answer my questions if I email him over at his Washington post? Would Judge answer me if I send him an email? I want answers, damn it. Blaker never responded to me asking him a question about Payne's report about the seeing Molly pull into the front parking area and all that bullshit where it's very worded that way. He never responded. I'm going to have to just email everyone. I'm going to have to email everyone. I'm going to email. I'm going to find Brett Payne's University of Idaho email his ass over there too. How's mainstream not asking about this? How's Brian Inton and Ashley Banfield not taking this damn footage and being like, what the frick frack is that, bro? What is that freaking scream? And why is it so freaking scary? And why do we not have any answers? This is not like a joke. This damn scream is one of the scariest sounds that I have ever heard. I have listened to stuff about like chupacabras and all kinds of mythical, scary creatures. And the fake ass screams that these people try to get you to just like be freaked out about, they don't hold a candle to this shit. This is like, there's no words for that freaking sound. There's no words for that sound. There really isn't any words for that sound. And if it's somebody just like drunk off their ass and yelling because they're stupid, well, then they deserve a damn Oscar. Because what the frick? Definitely the real deal. It's scary as shit. I've heard bobcat screams. I've heard bobcats. I live around them, lived around them my whole life. Nope, I wouldn't. Because sometimes, moose, is it moose? What kind of freaking animals is that used to be up there where my mom used to live? I think it was a bunch of moose. Yeah. Moose, when they make a certain scream, sounds like a woman being killed. There's quite a few animals that do make sounds like that, but none of them can elicit that sort of reaction. At least nothing that I've heard. And I've heard a lot of stuff. I'm from the country. I mean, don't let my looks fool you. Okay. Yeah, I've heard it all. I've never heard anything that make me feel like that. And even if they do end up saying, oh, we found out that it was some sort of animal because we saw it on a trail cam or some bullshit like that. Like, where's the investigation into that sound? There has to be an investigation into that sound. There's no way they hear that and just shelf it. Because they had it for how long before they had Bryan's name? You give it to the 19th, they had that shit for a month. You give it till even when they try to say that the person wasn't back until sometime after like Thanksgiving break and they had to go back and all this other bullshit, they still had it for weeks before Kohberger's name. Where's the investigation into that damn scream? I'm going to figure out a way to word this. I'll put it in the community tab so you guys can see it. And I did put in a FOIA today to get our own copy of the noon to 1 o'clock that I guess Hughes is the one who paid for those redactions and his little whatever so that we can put it together. So far, it's going to let me do like all of it. Like, because I wanted to put all of the video together and upload the entirety. The entirety. I didn't know if my computer was, or my Clipchamp was going to let me have that much length, I guess, in a clip. But I guess because I don't pay, like I pay for it. It's not the free version. The free version, I've always had like 3+ hours, maybe 4 hours, and it was giving me problems. That was one of the reasons why, remember, for those of you that have been here for a while, y'all remember me telling you that I had gone through like an hour and a half worth of edited footage trying to do a comparison of Payne and Blaker's like PCAs, and then I lost it all, but it was taking me forever because I had to do things in like increments and shit like that. That was the free version. I started paying for it so I could download shit in 4K. That's why the videos, the raw footage videos, are so clear because I'm paying to be able to download them in 4K. When we stream, my internet's shit, so they don't look as clear. That's why the raw footage has like a way better picture because it's the actual like 4K file, and you should be able to view it in 4K the way that I have it uploaded. It should do that. But so far, it looks like it's going to let me download all of it. I just don't want to have it. I don't want to put it like all together and fully download it until we have to 1 o'clock. I don't plan on getting anything in the session after 1 o'clock, but pieces after 1 o'clock. Like I want to get the time frame for whenever the funeral home drove in so that we can see them actually pulling in and leaving twice because they took them away in twos. And then I would like to get clarification on the time that Stacey Chapin and Jim walked up to the house because I have a feeling that that's her 2 o'clock hour story. We know Ethan wasn't in it. She would also have known that Ethan was no longer in it, but I have a feeling that might be the time frame that she walked up to the house. And I'd like to see that. Just so we can get some clarity on a few things. But other than that, I don't think I'm going to like go further. I don't feel the need to unless something very specific comes up that you guys want me to grab, then by all means, let me know. But I'm also going to go in and try, now see in the reports, as I'm going through the reports, addresses around that area to try to get some different cameras. Because like I said, even though we have like a list in the public interest website for the things that were going to be submitted to trial, there were other pieces of camera footage from other addresses that they did obtain that were not placed for trial footage. And I would really like to see some of it for certain timeframes if they kept it. Especially when it comes to seeing like other cars and stuff driving around. I just don't understand how they have that damn undercover cop car right there and they're still trying to pretend like it's not the car driving all over the place. That angle in that window, the silver car definitely would show up white. Like they really... Oh my God. I just can't believe like how stupid this case is. There's just like no way. They really thought that they'd like we're going to get away. Well, technically, I guess they have so far gotten away with the bullshit. That's probably the worst part. That's probably the worst part. People are getting promotions, becoming chiefs after being completely insufficient, getting higher positions, moving on up, retiring, doing all the things, and they failed. Collectively. Isn't that insane? That's so insane. Oh, thank you for the gifted memberships, Curry. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, you guys. All right. Hour live done. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm trying to get some more Enon Harsh clips together. If there's anything in particular about him that you want me to see to put everything together, because I know I'm going to go in and try to find as much as possible. I try to find everything in all angles always. But if there's something very specific, please email me. Title, screenshot. I don't click links. I want to make sure that we have it all because I'm going to do some FOIAs when it comes to old Enon Harshy and see some things because I don't trust this dude. Something's weird. I feel like he maybe just inserted himself. I just don't know why, but we'll see. We will see. Again, thank you so much for coming in here with me tonight. I very much appreciate your time. This is an important thing. I'm going to try to get some information from them about this. Thank you for the super stickers and the super chats, the new members and the gifted memberships. And again, above everything else, thank you so much for your time. Email. I got you. Hold on. If I could type. There it is right there. There it is right there. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and roll this out. You guys have a great night. Try to get some rest. Tomorrow's Taco Tuesday. Wear your stretchy pants. I'll see you guys in a bit. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.